Welcome to the Superabound podcast, where vision-led entrepreneurs learn to build a generous business without sacrificing what matters most. You are listening to episode 323, Self-Investment and Success. These are some of my favorite topics, and they matter so much to business owners because you want them both. You want to be successful, and successful also means being well. And the key to being well is not just taking a bubble bath when you're feeling super stressed. It's actually paying your dues all along the way. And that means self-investing. So I am here with the self-investing queen, Erin who is going to tell us all about what it means and how you do it so that you can be truly successful in your business and your life.
Okay, it sounds really sad when you say you have to pay your dues. It sounds like you're going to go through the mud. But there is a reason, a really specific reason that we talk about self-investment rather than self-care. As lovely as the idea of self-care is, the truth for business owners, for leaders, is that general, vague self-care is something we all know we should be doing. Some of us do it, but it's usually it's not the strong shit. It's not the stuff that really tends to move things forward for you. So a few years ago, I started shifting my own vocabulary around self-care to talk about self-investment. And I had a really great session with a client recently who, like every other entrepreneur, like every other business owner, said she was kind of struggling with how to really fit that into her schedule. Now, we have been immersed in a 28-day challenge that is focused on one aspect of the tending triad, which is our tool for teaching people how to self-invest. And this topic came up. So self-investment, if you've ever had to invest financially, if you've ever decided that that is a pathway to your wealth, you know that when you start investing, it's usually at a point in your life, or at least it was for me, I don't know about anybody else, when I didn't have a lot of money. I was investing in a future I was hopeful about, but it wasn't as though I was just rolling in cash and, tossing a couple $100 into an investment account was an easy thing to do. It was actually pretty boring. It was sometimes a little bit painful, especially when I saw money I really wanted to use for fun and exciting things be kind of shuttled away into an account that I wasn't supposed to touch, and I was supposed to let it grow, or I was supposed to do something with it. It wasn't fun, and there was no instant gratification there. Self-investment is very similar to that experience at first for many people. If you have been neglecting your well-being for years, you might have a backlog of personal appointments or health appointments to take care of. And I don't love going to the dentist either, but it's something that we do as an act of self-investment. If you're not used to taking time to get out in the middle of the day and go for a walk, it can be very challenging to peel yourself away from all of the various fires that you are in charge of putting out in order to pour something back into your own well-being.
And I just want to hover for a moment on this idea that the metaphor matters. Most of what you're pointing at there is the difference between talking about it as self-care, which people say, okay, sure, that's fine, I'll do that later. It's kind of optional. I'm fine, I don't need to care for myself anymore. Versus self-investing, which as grown-ups, we know we're just supposed to do, and there's a certain amount of put it on a schedule because it's going to compound and make a big difference in your life later on. A small change in wording gives you a different metaphor for how to relate to this same activity. I was on a call just yesterday with a group of leaders, and we were talking about being off track. And someone said, what if it's not a train where you're off track? What if it's an airplane where, you're just flying on a slightly different route? I was like, yeah, man, the metaphor matters. And so we're just taking a moment to reframe how to think about your own wellness, your own success on all levels. And now the thing that's cool about using it as the financial idea of investing is that even small amounts, when put in over time, put in regularly, they compound. They turn into really big results 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now. We all know that from financial investing, but we don't think about our health, our relationships, our spirituality in the same way, but they function just the same. Like, where will you be in your spiritual life if you give up your practices for 10 years? Probably not in as strong of a place as if you were to just spend a few minutes in stillness and centering each day. Same thing with your relationships. You can't ignore your partner for a year and at the end of that time be like, hey, how's it going, honey? You will have missed out on that chance to compound those small acts of care, small acts of love that are actual investments in your success in life.
Yeah, and that is a really good and important point. As boring and painful and uncomfortable as some of the self-investment can be, if it's something that's new to you, it also does not have to be big, extreme. It does not have to be a whole life makeover. So something we have been focusing on in our 28-day Sustaining Rituals Challenge is every week picking one thing in each of the categories that we have walked folks through. One thing to do, even if it's a very small thing, that we are doing as a generous act for ourselves, for our own well-being, for our own energy. And it's been really incredible to see, like, what happens when someone says, I will write in my journal for 5 minutes every day. I'm just going to do this one thing and see what I learn after a week of doing that, after a month of doing that. And by the way, if you did miss the live 28-day challenge, the good news is we had so much fun. We learned so much ourselves doing it that we've actually turned it into a program that you can join and do on your own pretty much any time. You can find out about that and join the free challenge over at besuperabound.com/rituals.
One of the biggest insights from that month is exactly what you were saying, Erin, that the changes don't need to be big to have a big effect. Even a small 5-minute shift in your morning routine, or something you change before you go to bed, whether it's journaling, a quick workout, even just going for a walk, might not seem like a lot on the surface, and you certainly wouldn't be posting about it on social media like, look at me, I'm so great, I went for a walk. But what it tells yourself is that you are worthy of self-investment. So many people wait until they think they've done something of significance to celebrate or to pat themselves on the back or even just to show the same kind of care to themselves that they would show to a loved one, a child, a friend. By taking this time and saying, you know what I would really love? Is going for a walk. And then doing it, you are showing yourself that you are worthy even before you've quote unquote earned it. You're showing that you don't need to earn it. And this is something we're always correcting ourselves on. We're just like, I've really earned my workout today. I've earned my, dessert. I've earned whatever, we think we're earning. Like, wait a second. I can just have this because I want it. And I'm worthy of it, whatever that thing is. So that, I think, was one of the big takeaways, is that what you want for your own self-investment, you are worthy of right now.
And I think your walks are worthy of talking about on Instagram, actually. I truly actually mean that. I think so much of the time, even what we think is worthy to share with the world, we think it always has to be like an elevated, special, like once in a lifetime thing. But I would love to see more people posting their like Oura Ring scores, which I do often. I'm like, look I had the most amazing sleep. This is my readiness score. I think as a, we're going to talk about this a little more in a moment, but I think that deep self-investment doesn't also have to be flashy, but it's an act of rebellion in a way. It's an act of rebellion against the rules of business and success, the old school kind of way of doing things that say, yeah, we have to earn every break. We've got to earn our coffees for closers. as you shared in our book from that movie, it's a really interesting thing to say, you know what? I find it so hard to do a workout at the end of the day. So what if I rescheduled my life so that my workout happens when I have the energy for it, which is in the morning after my kids go to school? I did this today. I had my workout scheduled for the end of the day. I looked at the calendar and I was like, I'm probably not going to want to do this at 4 o'clock. This is actually kind of a big workout day. I will 100% just want to lay on the couch probably after my work. So why not? Because I can, because I'm the owner of my business and I have the flexibility to do so. Why not just do it right after my kids go to school? Which is what I did. And I feel amazing. And I'm going to post about it on Instagram. Not to show off, but to say, this is how we get to set up our lives. If you are a business owner specifically, chances are you moved into that type of lifestyle so that you can have the kind of life you want to have and make your own rules. That is an act of rebellion, to say, I don't end the day with the things that are supportive to me. I don't end the week with a little pat on the back or maybe taking care of myself, maybe investing in my own energy. I start the day with it. I start the week with it. I take those breaks when I need to. I make time for those walks before the sun goes down, even when there's something in the business that might need me, even when, the rest of the business world would say I'm being lazy or selfish. You know what? I think I actually feel very bad for people when they're like, if you're not working hard 50 hours a week, you're not a startup, you're not a founder, you're not this, you're not that. I just feel like, those people have not organized their lives around their lives. They are living to achieve something in their business, and chances are they're probably neglecting what they actually need to have a strong inner flame and long-term success.
So be a rebel. Buck the trend. The idea that the business owner, startup founder, leader is all in on their business is from some kind of outdated mechanistic view of who we are as humans and how business even works or what business is even for. Like, this shit is from the old days, folks.
Yeah, there was no AI. They weren't using AI to help them.
Yeah. You get to be a human. The purpose of that computer that you have on your desk is to allow you to be a human, not to throw more of yourself into the meat grinder of your business. Be a human. That's what we're asking you. That's what we're inviting you into. That's why this is an act of rebellion. You're saying, my life matters and my business is within the context of my life, not the other way around.
Yeah, I think it's also a point of integrity, especially for those of us who are service-based business owners. I'm going to use myself as an example, but like as a coach, my energy is kind of the product. My brain is the product my clients are buying. And so I know that if my energy isn't great, if I'm in a terrible mindset, if I am not expanding my creative horizons in a way where I can be a problem-solving and thinking partner for my clients, I am doing them a disservice. So this is where the connection between self-investment and success really comes in, is for you to be your best for all of the business milestones and lanterns you want to light. Ironically, the path to doing that is to not ironically, but like the path to doing that, very straightforward, is to make sure that you are cared for at a really high level baseline, probably more high level than, your baseline as an entrepreneur probably has to be higher than most other people you know.
Yeah. If you think about yourself as a high performer in the sport of business, if you think about yourself as an elite performer, you will approach self-investing very differently. There is no athlete who is at the top of their game who just kind of phones in their self-investment, right? They are eating well, they are sleeping well, they have a team of coaches and trainers and physios. Like, they are supporting their success in every way. Now, granted, that's a physical pursuit, so they're doing physical support, but yours is also a physical pursuit. Like, think about how productive you can be if your body feels broken, if your brain feels foggy. You are underpowered. So think about yourself as an elite performer, because that's what your business deserves.
Yeah, and elite athletes take the recovery days seriously too.
Yeah.
I would say, not even just like, I know plenty of athletes that also have mindset coaches. I think the mindset shift that really taking your self-investment seriously offers is, it says, as you were saying earlier, Steve, it shows that you are worthy, not when you reach the achievement, not just when you light the next lantern, but you are worthy as a person on the path, on the way, working on your vision. That, I think, offers a sense of inner confidence and strengthens your relationship with yourself. We spent a lot of time talking about relationships with others and relationships with ourselves this past month, but I think that that's maybe a very underrated side effect of self-investment work. Is it saying this happens in my life regardless of the ups and downs and the roller coaster of my business, because I matter as a human and I'm totally worthy.
Yeah. So if you are looking to up-level your self-investing, which, let's be honest, we all can.
We all should.
It's there for the taking.
Yes.
Come join us in the 28-day challenge. It's available for you to start right now, and it is powerful stuff. Head over to besuperabound.com/rituals, and we'll see you there.
Take care.